Welcome to Influential Sports, and today I'm here to talk about NXT Stand and Deliver. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. So to start off, WrestleMania weekend had SmackDown Friday night, but to really get the weekend kicked off, Saturday morning had NXT Stand and Deliver, and it was a great show. It was a great introduction for all the matches. In the first match of the show was Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin defending the NXT Tag Team Championships against Nathan Frazier and Axiom. This was a really good tag team match. A great match to start off the show. They did have a match on the kickoff show between Shawn Spears and Joe Jacy, but I wasn't able to see that match because honestly I forgot about it. I didn't even think about watching the kickoff show, but I didn't see that match. But back to the tag team match. This was a really good match. Had a good pace. Nathan Frazier and Axiom, they started off the match by taking it right to Corbin and Bron. They wanted, both of these teams showed they wanted to win this match. Great performances from both of them. Baron Corbin did a splash off the top rope, which was really impressive, especially for somebody his size that doesn't usually go to the top rope. Bron Breakker always looking great as usual. He's been dominating. I can't wait to see him officially on the main roster. Then Axiom and Nathan Frazier, haven't watched them a lot, but they were great in this match as well. Bron Breakker got taken out temporarily towards the end of the match, and that allowed Axiom and Frazier to double team Corbin, but Bron Breakker made the save. Then Bron Breakker hit Nathan Frazier with a spear, he folded him inside out. Nathan Frazier got folded multiple times by Bron Breakker. It was quite entertaining to watch. Then Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker retained the NXT Tag Team titles, so they're undefeated since they've been a team. Really good match, like I said. I don't know what the plan or goal is with Bron Breakker right now, because he's also part of SmackDown. He's had a few matches on SmackDown, but I was thinking they'll lose. That way after WrestleMania, he can be part of SmackDown full time. And I don't know what that does for Corbin once Bron Breakker leaves. Because I would assume they want to bring Bron Breakker up as a single star, because he's been NXT champion before, current tag team champion right now. There's nothing else for him to do in NXT. But that's all I gotta say for that. But moving on to the next match, Oba Femi defended the North American Championship against Dijak and Josh Bridges in a triple threat match. Just three big men going at it. This match was really entertaining. This was probably my favorite match, Stand and Deliver, because they all went out there, they did their thing. Dijak and Josh Bridges, they have history dating a few months back. They don't like each other, but they tried working together to take out Oba Femi, but it didn't work out so well. Oba Femi was just able to overpower both of these men. I mean, when they did get Oba Femi down, it's like they just hated each other again. Josh Bridges and Dijak, they continued to go at it, which they should, but Josh Bridges, he didn't do a great job of taking advantage of the opportunities that he had, because once he hit a big move, he'd hesitate, giving somebody else time to recover. But for these three men and their size, it was a really good match. But Oba Femi, he was able to retain the North American Championship, and he's been great. I've seen him a few times. Seen him at the last pay-per-view and a few times on NXT. But Oba Femi, he's a really good wrestler. Pretty new, but once he gets into the main roster, he'll be great. Still got some stuff to do in NXT as he continues his reign down there as the North American champion. But I've been really impressed with what I've seen from him. Then there was a 6-woman tag team match with Jacy, Jayne, Kiana James and Izzy Dame versus Thea Hill, Fallon Henley, and Kalani Jordan. 6-woman. This was a solid 6-woman tag team match. I think there was only one match that disappointed, and I'll get to that in a second. But this 6-woman tag team match, it was pretty good. It had a good pace for what it was. Then they got started fast, pretty fast paced throughout the match. Really solid. It seemed the team with the heels, Jacy, Jayne, Kiana James, and Izzy Dame, they dominated at the start of the match. But the babyface team was Thea Hill, Fallon Henley, and Kalani Jordan. They ended up getting the win. Because Thea Hill, this whole thing was based around Thea Hill and Jacy James rivalry, and both of them having people on their side. And Thea Hill, she made Izzy Dame submit for her team to pick up the win. But really solid match. And moving. And the next match was Roxxane Perez and Laura Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship. This was the one match I was disappointed in. This wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't good either. It was okay for the most part. I mean, it was solid because it was just solid throughout. It was nothing really groundbreaking about this match. I mean, the whole story here was that Roxxane Perez never lost the NXT Women's Championship. She had got back to that point, and I wanted her to win because of that. That's based off the story. She was never able to get her rematch, and then she finally got it here. And maybe I had the expectations too high, but it was just an okay match. It wasn't bad, but like I said, it wasn't a bad match. But Roxanne, she was able to get the win. Tatum Paxley tried to interfere, but Roxanne submitted Laura Valkyria and became a 2-time NXT Women's Champion. Then the next match was Tony D'Angelo versus Ilja Dragunov for the NXT Championship. This was a good match. You had instant action to start off the match. You had multiple spots where they clothesline each other over the top rope. And Tony D'Angelo, he showcased what he could do as a single star, as he's usually in tag team action. But this was a really good match from him and Ilja Dragunov. There was a point in the match where Ilja kissed him or something. It was weird. But that fired up Tony D'Angelo and wasn't able to get him to win. Then it was Stack Stride handed Tony D'Angelo brass knuckles. He didn't want to do it that way, which him hesitating and not taking the brass knuckles ended up costing him the match, because Ilja Dragunov was able to retain the NXT Championship. But it was a good match. Then Ilja Dragunov and Tony D'Angelo, they shook hands after the match, show respect to each other. It was really good for what it was. Then you had the main event, which was Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. And if you've been following that story, then it's been going on for a few months with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. It's all about the spotlight. And both of these guys won the spotlight today. They had the main event spot on NXT Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend. And these two, they put on a great match. This match didn't have any type of stipulation. First 5 minutes, they were already in the crowd. The referees were definitely very lenient with this match. They had multiple ref spots allowing chairs to be used. Carmelo hit Trick with a low blow. It was a really good match, and this was fun to watch. I might go back and rewatch this match just because this match had a good build and a great match to go with it. And both of these guys will be on the main roster soon. But Trick Williams, he was able to get the win. And NXT Stand and Deliver, it was a great pay-per-view. A good way to start off WrestleMania Saturday. Just very entertaining. Had 6 matches on the card. 5 I could say were 5 of these matches I can say that were good or better. It's only one where I can say it was okay. You could have did things to improve it, but I enjoyed this. My favorite match was definitely the triple threat match with Dijak, Josh Bridges, and Oba Femi. But as far as the best match goes, I'd probably say the tag team match with Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker. To start off the show, that was a really good match. That could definitely be main events for multiple pay-per-views. But there was a really good tag team match and showcased tag team wrestling. And NXT, the NXT general manager, Ava Raine, made a huge announcement as there's going to be a NXT North American Women's Championship coming soon, which I think that's great because it's only one championship in NXT, but they have a really good women's roster. So I think having that definitely helps them. Now I'm hoping Triple H does something like that with the main roster, where they get a women's mid-card title. Because I know they had a women's tag team championships, but it hasn't been great, and he might have to get rid of those unless he can rebuild the tag team division. But I like what they're doing in NXT, getting the women's mid-card title. But that is it for this video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I hope everybody is enjoying WrestleMania weekend.